Hello everybody, welcome back to the Player Rankings Show. After Liverpool beat West Ham 2-1, made hard work of it, yes, but is it another win on the road to glory, on the road to a Premier League title, on the road to league title number 20? Yes, 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 and yes again it is. 13 points clear, 2 more wins required. Job done. We don't need to speak another word about the performance apart from when we do the next 20 minutes in a second. But yeah, it was sound. Virgil Van Dijk, the hero. Diaz with a lovely, lovely goal in the first half as well. It was sound. Don't worry about a thing. The details are just exactly that. They're the details. Don't concern yourself with them. I've got to quickly address the super chat before we move on because it came right as I was wrapping up the last show. It's from Christopher Mancini, lovely name, who says, why do people complain? Great match. Not every team is going to bend over. West Ham deserve credit for not folding. Great game. Absolutely. And I think I often am probably guilty of this because I expect such high standards from Liverpool week in, week out. Every single time they take to a pitch, I think, well, we're miles better than insert opposition's name here. Therefore, especially at Anfield, therefore, it should be comfortable. And I know football isn't played like that. I've watched enough of it down the years to understand that completely. But you've got to factor in that no matter what that team's got at stake and what they're playing for, Liverpool's a massive scalp. Anfield's always a huge occasion for any visiting team. Therefore, the likelihood is they're going to put in a proper shift and try and get something out of the game. And to their credit, West Ham did that, and they very nearly succeeded as well. But thankfully, Virgil van Dijk made amends up one end, let's put it that way, after making a bit of a difficult situation. Sorry, I'm just... Evan always has conversations with a magnet, Dan. How do I top that? Cisse, listen, I'm a lot of things. I like to think I'm a bit of a realist, but I'm not sure I can have a conversation with a magnet. We'll see how we go. We'll see what happens over the next 20, eh? But I'll be honest, I don't see it. Right, let's do this instead, shall we? Alisson Becker. We're starting strong in Alisson Becker, aren't we? We are starting strong in Alisson Becker. It was, without meaning to sound too critical of Kieran Keller, who I think is an excellent goalkeeper, really, really is, top-level goalkeeper. This guy's the best in the world, and he continues to show us why he is the best in the world. And today, whilst none of his saves, again, I said it a moment ago, might go down in his top 10 greatest of all time, it was a string of important saves at pivotal times, and the only way he was actually beaten today was when Andy Robbo, stroke Virgil van Dijk, decided to stick it past him. No West Ham player was beating this fella today. He was incredible, absolutely incredible. Some fingertip saves onto the top of crossbars, one-on-one against Jared Bowen, who was unbelievable, and to do that, having been out for a few weeks, you might think, okay, is he a little bit cold, is he a little bit rusty? None of it. Absolutely none of it. Major contender for man of the match for me. Just sensational. So let's do it. Right up there, isn't he? Let's have it right. Right up there. Jenny says totally boss. Ali, best goalkeeper in the world. I'm going to fight Madrid's Courtois. Alisson, boss, Becker. We've got top boss there. We've got Alisson, boss as well. Yeah, just boss. And man of the match out for Michael too. Yeah. Okay. Sounds. Conor Bradley. Just, again, so refreshing to have Conor Bradley back, isn't it? Just getting a right back who has done it forever and knows what it takes to do that job well. And I think he attacks when it's required, he gets back and defends and does his job there when it's required. Yeah, very, very, very high-level right back, and we're very, very fortunate to have him because we say it a lot about the goalkeeper department, not many people have got understudies and backups to the level of Kelleher. Well, we've got in a similar vein with Trent and Conor Bradley. The future might look different. It might be Conor Bradley and then somebody else, or who knows. But for the here and now, Conor Bradley is some footballer. He really is. Conor boss, Bradley high sound. Boss Bradley, love to see him back. High sound, got a boss. I am really intrigued by some of Bradley's positioning and when he wanders into midfield, because he feels like he wants to do that a lot. And I imagine something that's been led by Arne Slot, of course. But he seems so comfortable as well. And he picks and chooses moments when to do it. Yeah, there's a real player there. There's a real player there. And I'm excited to see what happens next. And I must admit, there's been a lot made of the injury stuff around Conor, understandably, because he has had regular injury problems. But I checked the other day, when he was at Bolton on loan a few seasons ago, when he was even younger than he is now, of course, He played like 53 games. And I know the intensity is different at League One to Premier League, obviously, but he was, again, 2 years younger. And nowhere near as developed. His body got nowhere near as much minute in the tank. So to do that would suggest that perhaps injury problems or something else. Maybe it's maybe it's a stop-start nature of his seasons, I'm not sure. But yeah, there's definitely a player. Kostas Tsimikas. A lot of people a moment ago were suggesting, do we have the first? We have kind of got the first straddler, Siamak. Yeah, you're right. Conor Bosley. Don't hate that. Middle to high sound, says Martin. I thought Kostas was decent, actually. Again, considering he's come in from the colder touch, because we haven't seen much of him at all recently. And it was a much-needed change. I think Robertson needed to be taking out the 5 in line. But yeah, I thought it was a good performance from Kostas. A lot of people, again, were suggesting that maybe when we took him off, things started unravelling a bit for us. I would only assume that was pre-planned and it was fitness-related as opposed to performance-related. I don't know whether he had much more than an hour in the tank. And who knows what the final 20 minutes would look like with him on the pitch. Sounds, lots of sounds. Exactly that, really. High sound, says Dicky. Fan of Drac, says sound. Kostas, boss. Okay, we're going quite high on Kostas. Did Kostas make any crosses? No, but our fullbacks don't really do that anymore, do they? That was very a thing of the past, the touch, it feels like. A lot of their work comes up sort of linking up play with midfielders and attackers now. Okay, I think slightly lower than Connor, personally. Well, I've got no centre-halves. There we go. In a different position, that's all. Let's do Ibu. As good as Connor was, says Christopher Mancini. I think he's just below Connor's level. Feel free, somebody else. If somebody else corrects me, I'll address it. Yeah, Ibu. Let's do Ibu. Jacob kicks us off with Ibu. We've gone from boss to low sound to Holly Bobs. Ibu boss. Okay, we are loving Ibu, aren't we? I don't know what's going on mid-chat for that to be said, but did that something I said? I think it's a Craig Johnston. I definitely spell it right. Anyway, by the by, not important right now. Ibu low sound, Kanate sound. Ibu, how you messing? How you messing? So I just realised what I just said there. Shit in hell, no. Sound enough generally. We can't go from boss to you messing like. It's okay. That's wild. I'm gonna put him in mid sound, Ibu, and I think that kind of gets the balance of what we're talking about. We've had a couple of bosses, which I think is a little bit keen. I don't think he's anywhere near you messing personally. I think it was okay. So I do think he's okay. Some more people saying sounds, which is good. He got us into trouble once, certainly midway through the second half. He was at fault for what became another West Ham chance in a string of West Ham chances. Okay, Virgil Van Dijk. Momentarily, we were in your messing territory, I think, for Virg. But he pulled himself and Liverpool after shit. Didn't take long, did it? Virgil sound only because of the goal. Right, okay. Christopher says high sound for Virgil. How much credit do we give him for the goal, I guess? Because I tend to agree, his overall performance wasn't great. He nearly fucking beheaded Andy Robertson moments earlier. And then he has the mix-up with Andy Robertson, which, of course, leads to the own goal. And I don't think his all-round game, he didn't deal with a long ball over the top, which let Jared Bowen pick somebody out in the box as well. He wasn't having his greatest centre-half performance. But then he goes up the other end and scores the winner with a commanding, powerful header. So, yeah, I guess it all depends how much we enjoyed that moment, doesn't it, really? The goal saves him. Virgil van Dijk sounds. Who got man the match? Virgil. Did he? Yeah. That's a bit nuts. Boss captain sound. Not a great second half. Virgil high sound. The goal saved him. Yeah, I think the goal saved him. I think that's a fair. Holly's probably about right as well. Virgil will be boss high sounds. Low boss. Are we straddling? I feel like, yeah, C-Mac's back. Thank you, C-Mac. I think we're straddling, aren't we? Probably higher than Kostas. Probably in around the Conor Bradley level. Because you can't score a winning goal and not be, at least, touching the boss category, can you? Let's be honest. Ryan Gravenberch. Boss, just for the goal, we're going to win the league. Yep, yes, we are going to do that. What do we make of Ryan Gravenberch today? He's been a polarising player for a few weeks now, Ryan Gravenberch. I don't think we've seen him anything like his level of early season for a little minute now. I don't think today was necessarily that either. I don't think the midfield's really been, purring of late. I think it's been good. I think it's been functional at times, but yeah, perhaps not quite the force it was to be reckoned with from earlier on. From mid-sound, a few more sounds coming in, did his job. High sound, nobody high sound, poor passing sometimes. The last person in position on the pitch you want somebody who's passing poorly, probably a goalie, but that also. Not his best game, but still sound, high sound. Don't really call him to anything either way. He is going more under the radar, I would say. I think a lot of early season performances, he was really eye-catching with the influence he was having on the games, and he was actually running a lot of games of football from his position. He was sort of key towards winning. That's deteriorated somewhat, it feels like, in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Whilst Liverpool have gone on a bit of a dip, sorry to be negative, we have, realist again, I just feel like his performances have kind of waned with it. So if he starts doing that, maybe we will as well. We'll wait and see. Alexis McAllister. No, I thought Alexis was excellent. And there's somebody in the chat who often slates me for my Alexis McAllister, love him. But I'm going to own it because I think he's fucking brilliant. And I thought he was brilliant again today. I've said it millions of times, but it's just a constant with McAllister. His consistency, his levels are just always there or thereabouts for me. I just don't recall him ever putting a horror in, like a horror show. Like, it's just always a brilliant performance from him. And I think today was no exception. Boss, I'm glad you all agree. I always get scared when I'm doing Alexis McAllister. Not something I want to have said, because I worry that I'm just so in love with him as a footballer that nobody else will be on board with me, and I've just got Alexis tinted glasses on every single week. But seemingly, you all agree, which is pleasant. Loads of bosses coming in for Alexis, actually, like loads and loads of them. Holly Bobs, though, he does get kicked a bit. That is very true. Macher is high, boss. I think he's underappreciated in that position too. Macher, okay. This, Ian. Now you're speaking my language. Yeah, I agree. Curtis Jones, as long as his dad talk about Real Madrid, as long as that can stop, then yeah, I agree. Curtis Jones back in midfield today. Thought he was okay. Don't think it was excellent. It was a great. His corners are up there, aren't they? Like, we've often sort of heralded and sung the praise of Kostas' set piece delivery, but I think McAllister's the right-footed equivalent, to be honest. I actually think he's got this. Listen, I think Xabi Alonso. I know Xabi Alonso had a better range of passing than Alexis McAllister. But I think in terms of like biting the tackle and that willingness to do the dirty work and the hard yards, I think McAllister might actually usurp Xabi Alonso, to be fair. But again, Xabi Alonso, just a cultured genius with the ball at his feet, wasn't he? So it's different. Curtis, Greek Scouser, Jones mid-sound, Jones sound, Jones Bosslar, Jones sound. I think we got low sound from Holly. I'm more of a mid to low sound, Craig, as well. I thought it was good. Again, I don't think it was particularly standout from Curtis. There was moments of it that were really impressive, but yeah, I don't think it was a performance that'll live particularly long in the memory for him. Just a functional, decent midfield display. But again, they can often go a long way to winning games of football. I might have put him a bit high there, given what I've just said. Mo Salah, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota. That's who we need to do next. Let's start with Diogo Jota. What do we make of Diogo? So giving a nod again in the centre forward role. No sign of Darwin Núñez at all. Let me know in the chat, by the way, if anything gets said about Darwin Núñez, because I am fascinated. He was there. I know he was there. Possibly. Diogo didn't play well for CF Milesy. Harry says sound. LFC 1892 says low sound. Diogo is sound but low. Holly is going, you're messing for Diogo. I'll be honest, I don't think we're quite in your messing territory for anybody today, in reality. I know somebody in a minute might disagree with me. But yeah, when he came off, it was at that point I kind of went, hasn't really happened for Diogo today. There's a 1-2 and then another opportunity to do a 1-2 with Mo Salah is the only real moment I can remember where he could have made something happen. Other than that, they kind of passed him by a bit, the game, I want to say. So yeah, it was another nearly game for Diogo. without ever truly looking like he was going to have a tangible impact and be a match winner for us. So, yeah, disappointing. Disappointing, I think. How is any player boss? Alisson Becker? No? Come on. People called me negative before. Now we've got this sort of shit. Do me a favour. Okay, Jota was sound. Yeah, maybe he kept the defence busy, but Dickie, I love you, mate. I do. I love you, but I don't know. If just being a presence, like I can go and be a presence. Whether they'd care I was there or not, a different story, granted, but I feel like you've got to get more. If you're playing number 9 for Liverpool, you've got to give us more. Sorry. Nobody gets banned. I'm not that kind of guy. It's an open forum. This is what we're here for, opinions. But I'm not going to get called negative and then deal with that. This is not going to wash. Not going to wash. Did he? I haven't looked at the stats from the game yet. That's normally something I do later on at night or first thing in the morning. But I believe you. I do genuinely believe you. Okay, Luis Diaz, goal scorer. Luis Diaz. Maybe it's this. It's not. I might be one of them. Goal scorer. First and foremost, let's deal with that. And listen, fundamentally, piss easy goal. If I was on the pitch being a presence, as I alluded to a moment ago, I would have scored that. I can guarantee I would have scored that. But, to his credit, I think everyone has been critical of the lack of numbers that Diaz has produced during his Liverpool time. I think that's 15 goals this season, by the way, which is good in itself as a separate conversation. Interesting that a lot of them come early and some of them are coming late, so maybe he wants to spread them out a touch more, but whatever. That is exactly the sort of goal you want Luis Diaz to be scoring. Reading the play, getting on the end of it, right place at the right time, and then finishing his dinner. Comfortably, granted, but just score simple goals. We don't need you to cut inside twice and then whip one in the opposite corner every single time. It'd be nice, but just get your numbers up, get your output by just being there and tapping it into an empty net, Louis. I'm fucking fine with it. And I do think it's interesting because he's coming good at a really pivotal time of the season because he's one of the reasons we're getting over the line. And if he could sort of replicate that form all season long, or when it really gets to crunch time, when we are going toe-to-toe with somebody, that would be fascinating. But for the here and now, I think he's actually playing at a very, very good standard. Again, at a very, very important time in the season. 20 goals assists in the league, that's impressive. And that's why I do think there's a conversation coming around Diaz. And this is a good point too. I'll tell you what, we're flying here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got ourselves... That might be harsh, you know. I know somebody a minute ago kicked off because we had people in boss, but I think Diaz was good. Let's do Mo Salah. He was so desperate for that moment, wasn't he? And he nearly got it. He half got it with the assist because it was exceptional. Like, probably the best moment in terms of quality today that we showed, certainly, you know, from the outfield players. And yeah, he'll live with it, of course he will, because he's, you know, just everything. But yeah, he wanted a goal so badly. And he looked so crestfallen when he got taken. He wasn't angry, he wasn't frustrated or annoyed with anybody, he was just desperate to score. But it never came. Boss the King, Mo Sound. Boss. Are we just going to put him in boss because he signed a new 2-year deal? Is that what we're going to do? Because if we are, I'm comfortable. I just want to know. I want to know the reasons. That's all. Salah boss. Boss just... There we go, Andrew. That's kind of what I was alluding to. Boss, some of his touches were insane. I actually felt semi-sorry for that Scarlett kid because talk about baptism of fire. Like, you're a young lad, you've not played much Premier League footy, you come to Anfield and you're getting asked to play against the best player in the league and possibly the world, who's just signed a new 2-year stay to stay at the football club that he adores, where his family loves, and he's treated and heralded as a king. Like, all the best, my mate. And it showed because he was tearing him apart, certainly in the first half. We barely got the ball to him in the second half, which may or may not be his fault. But honestly, exceptional. Sound, but that's it, boss. New deal is definitely worth it, boss. Regina, you will do for me. There you go. I should really put a little asterisk and caveat it because people are going to come in and people are going to come back to this show and see that and be like, you've lost your fucking mind. But the rationale is there. Okay? Let's quickly do some subs and then Arla slot and then a man the match and then we can all go home. Dom Sabozlai came on. He did come on. He came on. What do we make of his performance? His introduction today. Do you know what? I just heard you. Just want to pick up on that. I noticed that it was a freedom to Mo's performance today. I think maybe it's been the negotiations. Maybe it's been the tension, the willy-won'ty-ness of the signing situation. But Mo Salah definitely looked sharper and more relaxed and more at ease, everything today. So that version of Mo is my favourite version of Mo. Yeah, which is pleasant. Low sounds for Dom. I haven't seen Dom on the pitch. Sobbo, low sounds for you messing. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to waste too much time on Dom Szoboszlai. Let's do Andy Robertson instead, shall we? Ryan, that's a good... Is that what he said on post-match on Sky Sports, was it? Was that their analysis? Yeah. Probably nail on the head, to be fair. Robertson. Do you know what? I know there's a lot of negativity. Let's use that word again. It's overused at this point, but let's just say it, around Robertson. And uncertainty as to whether he has a long-term future at the football club. Because his performance had been below par last week, probably being the leading example of that. But do you know when it goes in off him? And he's been such a good servant. He's been so good to us. I can't help but feel like, why him? Like, why did I have to... I'd have preferred it to actually bounce off Virgil and go in, because he probably deserved it more, to be honest. And then he has his hero moment up the other end anyway. But the fact that cannons off Robbo and goes in is just typifies and sums up the season he's having. It's been a season to forget for Andy Robertson. It really has. But yeah, anyway. He was fuming as well. It felt, again, when the world's against you, and when it rains, it pours and all that. And you can just tell his reaction said it all. Anyway, Wataru Endo came on. We can see, I think, after Wataru Endo comes on, which isn't something we can always say. But that happened today. I mean, we didn't lose. We actually went and won. Because, again, Wataru Endo comes on. We don't lose shit when he's on the pitch. But, yeah, what do we make of him? Yeah, played, didn't he? Endo was sound. Endo came on as the badass babysitter. Camera cut, yeah, exactly. He wasn't happy. And again, I think he had every right to be a bit annoyed. I can only assume he was screaming at Van Dijk to leave it because he was going to clear it. But as it was, in it went. Cody Gakpo and Joel Quansah, and we are done. And there was the football equivalent of a closing picture on baseball. He has got that finisher moniker tag attached to him now, hasn't he? And I think it suits him. I'm just glad Arne Slot trusts him to be a finisher, because there's a while there I didn't think he even did that, to be honest. Cody messing, says Paul City Rocker. Are we low sound, says Jacob. Sounds, low sounds. Okay. It's Cody sound. Don't recall a good performance. Is that from Cody Gakpo, yeah? Or Liverpool? That's probably just Liverpool generally, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, Cody Gakpo. I'm running out of sound room. I can tell you that for free. Cody was a bit anonymous for me, and I'm a huge Cody Gakpo fan, as we know. Let's quickly do Joel Quansah. Got caught under the ball, actually, for a moment that nearly cost us. I think it's the Allister near post save, or it's the one that Bowen pulls back to the edge of the box. I can't quite remember which one it was now, but yeah, listen, it might be just the playing at a position at right back thing still, but yeah. I'm pleased to see that Arne Slot is showing faith, and I think a lot of it was led by the fact that Conor Bradley couldn't do 90, don't get me wrong. I think if Conor Bradley was up to speed, he'd have played the entire match, such was his performance. But I'm glad that Arne Slot still backs Joel Quansah to be able to do a job, even at a position, to be fair. But yeah, listen, performance, kind of whatever. I don't want to put him in your messing. That feels brutal and unnecessary. So, has somebody scored in that game, by the way? I can hear cheering of some description. I hope it's Newcastle, if so. Just below Ibu, somebody scored, haven't they? Can you tell me who that was in the chat, please? I'm not bending my head around. Arne Slot and man the match, and then we can go. Arne Slot, what do we think? There's a lot of negativity, again, around Arne Slot earlier on, and straight away, Port United are 1-0 down. Love that, Shawnee. Thank you. Sandro Tonali, I'm pretty sure I brought him into my fantasy team as well. Him or Bruno, one of them. Fucking hope it was Tonali now. Slot, you're messing. I'm not sure I'm convinced you to continual overuse of the same players. League won by last year's team, not the manager. Make of that what you will. Slot was sound. Sound for the boss. Toonami, love that. Slot, you're messing poor choices today, says Holly. Yeah, there's a... Again, I reiterate the point I made earlier on. Like, I'm only led... These literal two shows are led by what you guys think. I'll have my say in my opinion. Of course I will, because otherwise what's the point? But, yeah, there's genuine unrest when it comes to the Reds at the minute. And I do and don't get it in equal measure. I've done my whole spiel before about the fact we're top of the league, we're going to win the league, and everything's fucking sound. But there's a real, bit of a disconnect almost. Cyan Roy says, please Dan, put Rob a bit higher. The own goal wasn't his fault. Sorry, let me just finish that comment. And he showed an exceptional chin. He did show an exceptional chin. I wondered what you meant for a second there, and then I realised the fact that Virgil Van Dijk nearly kicked it clean off. Sound, quickly, let's just do, maybe that's it, Chris. I don't know. We have like good chats and stuff. Slot sounds. Slots. I like speaking to you guys. Sound, the subs weren't great, but that is down to the players he brought on. Yeah, the subs didn't help. They definitely didn't help. No, I don't know. Slot, sound. I wish it wasn't sound. Shit the bed. How's it come to this? I'm gonna have to move somebody, and they're gonna be too high or too low for what they deserve. Do you know what? There's been enough of your messings. I'm gonna straddle him. I feel like he fell a little bit there behind me, but anyway. Man the match, quickly. Man the match. There's a pretty clear front runner, I think. Are we comfortable? Alisson Becker. Dan kicks us off with Ali, as does Holly, as does C-Mac, as does Paul, as does Jacob. When the first 5 comments are all the same name, it's a done deal, isn't it? Like, there's no need to go any further with that. That's us. Signed, sealed, delivered. Alisson Becker. Much deserved as well. Sound. I'm going to do the usual sign-off now, and then we can all carry on with our Sunday evenings until we do it all again next week when we play Leicester. But, you know what? That's a good point. Also a great point. But yeah, Liverpool's deficiencies in the second half meant that our goalkeeper was relied upon a hell of a lot. So much so that he actually got man of the match. But guess what? He's the best in the fucking business. And Liverpool are allowed to own brilliant footballers, and lo and behold, we're allowed to own brilliant goalkeepers as well, and thank God that we do, because he is on another planet to anybody else doing it right now, and that's fine. But I'll tell you what's even finer than that, the fact that Liverpool are 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League with 6 games to go. That's it. 6 games. 6 is actually quite an interesting number, because Liverpool needs 6 more points to win the Premier League, and that 2 in the middle is also quite an interesting word stroke number when you put another letter into it, because Liverpool need 2 more wins to win the Premier League, starting potentially at Leicester next week, and then hopefully, in my opinion, finishing against Spurs at Anfield in a fortnight. Dream scenario. Absolute dream scenario. Give me that Premier League however the fuck you want, because I want to watch it go around the city on a big bus and have the best party we've had in years. But dream scenario is still Spurs at home. So if we can all make that happen, that would be excellent. That means Arsenal have got to win a game of football, which I do and don't want at the same time. But if it means that they've got to beat Ipswich, then Jesus Christ, just go and beat Ipswich. We'll take care of our business against Leicester. Then we'll beat Spurs. We'll all laugh at Ange Postecoglou. And then we'll concentrate on the real thing, which is us lifting the big one. Finally, in front of millions of fans around the world. Properly this time, for real. Let's do that, shall we? Thanks very much for getting involved, as ever, genuinely. It wasn't always easy, it wasn't always pretty, but we did it. 3 points in the bag, done, dusted. Louis Diaz, Virgil van Dijk. This part of the show, I always say, is nothing without you all. The previous part is very little without you all as well. Thanks for being with us from the start. Have a boss Sunday. Take care. I love you all. Goodbye.